Good afternoon. Welcome to the Classical Conversations graduation. This is our graduating class of 2024. And seniors, before you take your seat, I would love for you just to look out in the audience and see your family, your friends, your loved ones who are here to support you today, but also have supported you throughout your journey. So just want you to take a moment to see who is all here. Y'all can go ahead and take a seat now. I'm honored that the senior class asked me to MC this event. I'm Eric Swenson. I'm the student minister here, so I've gotten to interact with these students. 4 of them were in my student ministry, and I also got to be on the thesis panel this past year. So as they did their thesis and presented that, I got to grill them with questions on that, and so I've enjoyed my time getting to meet these students. And my goal for MCing is just to kind of move things along. The students are all participating in the graduation, giving various speeches, and so I'll be introducing them and telling them to come up. But I want to go over a couple of housekeeping things for those who've never been in our church before. If you need a restroom, they're out these back doors, and the women's restroom is on your right, and then the guys' bathroom is on your left, and those are out those back doors. And if you have young ones who get a little fussy and can't quite sit through a graduation ceremony quite yet, we do have a cry room in the back as well that you can take them to, and you can still see and hear the entire graduation. I do think that it would be appropriate that we would start with a prayer thanking the Lord for this class, for this time. So I'm going to ask Jude DeYoung to come up and open us in prayer.
Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your blessings and guidance in our education throughout these years. We don't want to receive the glory for our accomplishments, but we want to give you the glory because ultimately we could not have done it without you. We're extremely grateful for the things we've learned, the people we've befriended, the experiences we've had in this stage of our lives as it's brought us closer to you. And as we walk into the next stage of our lives, whether we pursue careers or more education, I pray that we may continue to grow closer to you. We've been extremely blessed to grow up in a Christian environment, but we know that in our careers or in college, we will be going out into the world and surrounded by sin. I pray that we may not be influenced by sinners, but that sinners may be influenced by us, that we can serve as both an example and a voice of the truth. Father, I would also like to thank you for all the parents you have given each of us. They have supported us and helped us throughout all of this. We are very grateful for their hard work, and it has not gone unnoticed. I also ask that you may bless this evening. Again, we do this for your glory, not our own. We want this evening to honor you. Finally, Lord, we know everyone had to travel to come here today, some more than others. I pray that you may keep everyone safe when they return home and just bless them with traveling mercies. I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Jude. The Lord has been very kind to this graduating class, and just classical conversations of being able to learn together in a co-op, as well as their parents getting to shape their curriculum. And so I know that students know the blessings of being in classical conversations, and I know the parents know that as well, as they got to be with their students most days. And but I also know that not everyone is familiar with classical conversations and how it is set up. So I do want to take a couple minutes just to explain what classical conversations is, the work that they went through these past 12 years or forever how long they've been in classical conversations. So I'm going to have Joel Talinga come up and explain classical conversations.
Classical conversations utilizes the classical method of learning. It can be divided into 3 parts: grammar, dialectic, and rhetoric. The first of these is comprised mainly of memorization and just the regurgitation of information. This is the preferred method that the public schooling system uses. But while it does teach information, it doesn't teach you what to do with the information, and so many students lack critical thinking, and that's where the classical system differs. A dialectic refers to the conversational stage of learning, where you kind of weigh ideas in discussion and the comparison and the weighing of ideas. And then finally, rhetoric refers to the teaching and the application of the information. Theory can only get you so far, and that's where experience becomes the best teacher.
Awesome. Thank you, Joel. Basically, to summarize his speech, these students are really smart. They had to prepare speeches, I think, almost every week, and so they're able to think well on their feet. In the thesis defense, I got to see how they thought critically as we would bring questions, not even sometimes related specifically to what they researched, and they were able to think on their feet. And so I've firsthand seen the benefit of this method of education. In being chosen to be the MC, it's, as I said, a blessing from y'all, but there was one job that they wanted to keep to themselves, and so I'm not going to introduce the speaker for our graduation who's speaking to the students. They wanted to introduce her, so I'm going to have Aaliyah Bailiff and Morgan Lee come up and introduce our speaker.
Hello, my name is Aaliyah Bailiff,
And I'm Morgan Lee.
and we're so honored to have the opportunity today to introduce Miss Elisa, our friend, teacher, and speaker today.
Miss Elisa grew up in central Pennsylvania. She traveled the world in her teens and 20s with mission trips, traveling to places such as Ghana, Morocco, El Salvador, China, India, and Israel. As our teacher, she taught our class for 2 years, the only person to brave our crazy class for 2 years in 11th grade and 7th grade. During these fundamental years of growing up, Miss Elisa taught us the value of learning, how to harbor creativity, but most importantly, she taught us how to respond with grace and faith during hard times. As we considered choosing a commencement speaker today, we could not think of a more meaningful person than to have Miss Elisa speak for us.
Miss Elisa dove into CC the second year that this campus opened, which was 11 years ago, making her mark early on. She's homeschooled her 3 children, graduating them all through classical conversations, and just celebrated her 25th anniversary with her husband, Heath. Personally, I've known Miss Elisa my entire life, and she's been like a second mother to me, always caring for me in hard times, and always prepared with a craft or pumpkin bread awaiting my arrival. Through Miss Elisa's teaching in school, she's led by example, always living by faith, and interweaving Christ in all that she's done. I think that it's pretty safe to say that we all love Miss Elisa very much, and she's been a joy and light in all of our lives. Now, if you would all give a warm round of applause for Miss Elisa.
I told myself I wasn't going to cry. Thank you. Good afternoon, parents and tutors, family members and friends, and most importantly, the 7 incredible graduates that we honor here today. It is with great joy that we all gather here today to celebrate your accomplishments. The last time that we gathered in the same room was April 17th, 2023. Just 1 week before my time in the CC community was cut short by an unforeseen upheaval in my life, my husband's massive stroke, which led to 2 months in Tyler hospitals, 1 month in Houston, over 5 months in Fort Worth, and then back to Tyler for another 4 months before he came home, and our family began to feel somewhat whole again. So I can't say enough how honored I am that you would ask me to come full circle with you guys. I could never say no. When you guys asked me, I knew I could never say no to such a precious request. So thank you so much. I'm so very grateful, and I'm truly humbled. Now, on May 18th, 2024, you stand here on the threshold of an exciting new chapter in your life. And I can't think of anything more fitting to share with you today than some of the truths that have become especially dear to me during the past year. Community matters, treasure what lasts, and embrace difficulties. Community matters. Your community matters. Stay connected to your family, to your friends, to your church. The writer of Ecclesiastes wrote, 2 are better than 1, and a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. This year, more than any other, I have found this to be true. I gotta put my glasses on. It has been the community of family, friends, and the relationships we built throughout our lives. At college, at work, through ministry and church, people all around the world, all of these communities became for us the conduits of God's love and provision and support this past year. So wherever you find yourselves this next year, graduates, build community wherever you are. Love others well. Stay connected to the fellowship of believers, and if you move away, call home a lot. Reach out to the lonely or the lost. Love your roommate, your neighbor, your coworker. You will be investing in God's most treasured creations, and you will be building an eternal bond of community, a community that might see you through your darkest seasons. Secondly, graduates, treasure what lasts. And I wrote this to y'all for your last day at CC last year when I couldn't be here, but I just wanted to remind y'all. There is a reason that we parents and tutors have made you study the old classical stuff. In classical education, things like Shakespeare and music, poetry, artwork, philosophy, sciences, and yes, even mathematics. A YouTube or a TikTok video might make you laugh for a few minutes, and that's fun. Fashions will change every season, as will the focus of the news, the newest movies, or the latest health trends. But many of the things that you've been studying here in classical conversations will last you and see you through the hard times. And the habits and the disciplines that built into your life, like how to communicate with clarity as well as beauty, how to think deeply and logically, how to wrestle with big ideas instead of just put a little bow and tie them up and put them away, but how to really wrestle with them and think deeply about these things and seek the truth from the scriptures about what the Lord has to say about all of these big ideas. These are the kinds of things that will make a lasting impact and that will serve you through your hardest times. I've been walking in the most difficult, life-altering chapter of my life this year. And it is the old hymns and scriptures that have kept me anchored in the storm, that have fueled my faith and kept me sailing forward with hope instead of despair. The beauty of artwork and music and nature have soothed my soul in the middle of trauma. Beauty does more than hang on a wall, does more than sit in a pretty vase. It inspires real hope. Music is more than background noise for homework. It helps express deep emotions and soothes troubled souls. Love beauty. Biology and chemistry, precise mathematics and technologies, these have literally sustained my husband's life through brain surgery and months in hospital care. And I've been reminded countless times of the heroes and the characters that we studied in the various books and literature and history that we've read over the years, people like Corrie ten Boom from The Hiding Place, characters from literature, some of my favorite, Bilbo and Frodo and Samwise, lowly people who inspired courage in insurmountable challenges. I hope that you will not forget the many stories, the real or the fictional, that have testified of perseverance and have a special place in your heart. Treasure what lasts. The Apostle Paul wrote of this idea when he said that we have a solid foundation on the gospel, but we have to take care what materials we build with. We could choose wood, hay, and straw, and that stuff gets burned up really fast in the hard stuff. But what he names the gold, the silver, and the precious stones, it is the stuff that lasts no matter what comes against it. So treasure what lasts and build your life with those things that are good and true and beautiful. And finally, embrace the difficult. This is not something most of us are eager to do. Yay, let's embrace difficulty. We know from experience that difficulties come our way. It's part of life. Stress comes, sicknesses come, losses of many kinds, conflicts. And then there's due dates, right? And tests and intimidating senior thesis presentations before panels of people. Difficult. I heard a quote when I was your age, and it stuck with me ever since, and I'd like to pass it on to you today. Like Jesus did, resist temptation and embrace the nail. We often get that flipped around. We resist and we kick and scream against the difficult things in our life, the nails that disrupt our comfortable lives. And instead, we carelessly embrace temptations that come our way, temptations to cheat or cut corners to distract ourselves from our responsibilities, and we embrace selfishness over service, quitting instead of commitment, and the list goes on. Decide now that when difficult seasons and tasks come your way, that you will be the person who signs up for all God has for you, even when it's hard. There was a moment on the 4th floor of Christus Hospital in Tyler just a little over a year ago, in the Mint Garden, right outside of the ICU, when I was in the thick of my husband's trauma and of the overwhelming feeling of, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. This is so hard. This can't be happening. And I knew I had to make a choice. We don't get to choose our trials. We don't get to choose our difficulties, but we do get to choose our response. And I chose to embrace this trial and hold fast to the Lord, who sees, who knows, who bears it with me. And I chose to embrace it rather than live kicking and screaming and trying to escape it. His grace is truly sufficient at all times and in all things. It will be sufficient for you in your difficulties as you choose to embrace the nails instead of resist them. As you know, Jesus never promised a life of easy. He was very clear when he said, in this world you will have trouble. But that's not to say there's not going to be many, many wonderful things that you will experience in the years ahead, graduates. Indeed, there are dreams that you will see fulfilled, surprising gifts you will be given, and amazing adventures await you. There's going to be more milestones that you will celebrate. Just the same, I can guarantee that you will face a lot of difficulties along the way. And sometimes you won't experience what is really good until you say yes to those things that are hard. I say it again, embrace it all. Even if your story takes a hard turn to stressful, and especially when the challenges seem bigger than you, I hope you know that you have a bigger than you God, who will supply the grace and the strength that you need as you lean into him. In closing, you may not realize it now, graduates, but your life is like a garden sown by many hands, and primarily by your parents, but also by the many that are here with you today in the audience, and also those you choose to listen to on the side, all the books and the music and the podcasts. All of those people impart something to your life. So tend to the garden of your heart. Remember that community matters, so love and serve those that God puts in your life. Remember to treasure what lasts and keep building your life with those things. And when difficulties come your way, remember you have a choice on how to respond. Embrace rather than resist as you look for the prize to come. Now may you go forth with hearts eager to love those God brings into your life, the wisdom to discern the gold, the silver, and the precious jewels of your education, and the grace to fully embrace all that God has for you in your years to come. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you so much for your encouraging words, as well as just your testimony of how you've lived your life. So very thankful for your speech. We have a couple more speeches, and knowing our next speaker, we're going to go from serious to probably a little bit silly, and hopefully a couple laughs. A couple of our students are going to speak. So I'm going to have Jackson McWright come up, and he's going to give a speech.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am here in front of you today to share my experience as a student of Classical Conversations, which has been an overwhelmingly positive one. This program is one that takes a deeply distinctive approach to education, where the purpose is not simply to learn mere facts, but to significantly increase the intellectual capacities of the student. It fosters a community of active students instead of passive ones, who take part in directing the discussion and are not simply lectured by another person. Anyone who has served as a tutor in this program will tell you that a good class is not one that sits quietly without speaking, but rather one that speaks often with passion and energy. In other classrooms, disagreement, dissent, and differing opinions may be discouraged, as every student is regarded as material being shaped into the same general product. In my 8 years of CC, I have seen the utmost dedication to the freedom of ideas, the cultivation of civil debate, and the enforcement of respectful conduct among students who held opposite sides of an issue. The objective of our time together was not to be told what the truth was by an adult, but to carry each of our ideas into battle and see where they fell short. During our many lively discussions, the flaws and inconsistencies of our beliefs were always drawn out, and we were forced to face the harsh realities of our imperfections. And while this may not sound particularly pleasant, it is nothing to shy away from. The challenging of core beliefs does not produce doubt and uncertainty, but rather serves to reinforce and develop a person. If we wish to raise strong men and women, we must challenge them on what they believe. Otherwise, they will not believe in it. You've got to stand for something or you fall for anything, right? I advocate for classical conversations because it has strengthened my convictions, my faith, and my values. You may have heard the saying, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day, teach him to fish and you'll feed him his whole life. Proverbially, CC has taught me how to fish. And the masters are those who perform the basics exceptionally well. And I have certainly spent much time practicing the basics. Now, as I step into my future, I look back and see how I've been prepared to face a world of hostile ideas by having my classmates tell me that I was wrong. And I was more times than I would have liked. But regardless of that, I was taught how to find truth, how to discern reality, and how to properly disagree with others. The entire purpose of my education has been to draw me to a deeper understanding of God and of His creation. To anyone considering the benefits of this program, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. But you must realize that it will transform your child into a person far distinguished than any of his peers. But I'll tell you this, it's all worth it. Every last bit. And I would do it again without hesitation. Thank you all for listening to me, and God bless.
Thank you, Jackson. That was a great speech. Next up, we have Mariah Hart. So I'll have her come up and give another speech.
Hello. Moving it because I'm shorter. Hi, I'm Mariah Hart, graduating class of 2024. I've been in CC for the past 9 years, and I'm so grateful for this journey and everything that it's taught me. The people I've gone through this journey with have blessed me more than they know. In the ways they made me laugh, the way they opened up my mind to new perspectives, and the way some of them gave me experience in how to deal with hard people. The conversations, the philosophy, and sometimes brutal honesty will be carried with all of us into our lives and interactions with others. The experience and practice of speaking our minds and allowing others to do the same has been so important to our growth and becoming more comfortable and solid in our own opinions, views, and beliefs. This group has gotten closer as the years have gone by, which makes saying goodbye now all the more bittersweet. But I'm so thankful to have had this education with such amazing people and directors. The memories we've made, especially in the past few years, are ones I will always cherish and will always make me smile. In fact, I'd like to share a few quotes from senior year, both philosophical and, well, not. Beginning with, my hot take is that possums are cute. Noah Keith. Earth is a stage on which humanity is performed. Joel Talanga. Reason gives purpose to experience. Jude DeYoung. And lastly, it's not a sin for God to use himself as a flashlight. Jackson McCright. Congratulations, class of 2024. Cheers to the memories. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you. It's a blessing to hear from the students and the things that they've learned and how this class has become close throughout the years. Both students talked about the journey that they've taken throughout the years, and what we're about to do now is kind of take a journey through memory lane as we watch a slideshow of the graduates.
Let it go, let it roll right off your shoulder, don't you know? The hardest part is over, let it in. Let your clarity define you in the end. We will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours it's only for a moment you are mine to hold. The plans that heaven has for you will all too soon unfold. So many different prayers I'll pray for all that you might do. But most of all, I want to know you're walking in the truth. And if I never told you, I want you to know that as I watch you grow, I pray that God would fill your heart with dreams, and that faith gives you the courage to dare to do great things. I'm here for you, whatever this life brings. So let my love give you roots and help you find your wings. May passion be the wind that leads you through your days, and may conviction keep you strong, guide you on your way. May there be many moments that make your life so sweet. Oh, but more than memories, I pray that God would fill your heart with dreams, and that faith gives you the courage to dare to do great things. I'm here for you, whatever this life brings. So let my love give you roots and help you find your wings. It's not living if you don't reach for the sky. I'll have tears as you take off, but I'll cheer as you fly. I pray that God would fill your heart with dreams, and the faith gives you the courage to dare to do great things. I'm here for you, whatever this life brings. So let my love give you roots and help you find your wings.
Now that we've gone down memory lane and get to see their story of growing up, we now get to see what that moment has culminated to and what it has brought us to today. That those pictures that we saw, they've now grown up into adults who are going to receive their high school diploma. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to present those diplomas, and those diplomas are going to come not from classical conversations, but from the superintendents and principals of their school, whom they also like to call mom and dad. They'll be the ones who will be presenting the diplomas for them. And so parents, when I call your student up, you can come up to the stage right here and just situate yourself somehow underneath the balloon arch that the photographer will be able to get that well. So our first graduate is Aaliyah Bailiff. And she is the daughter of Russell and Robin Bailiff. She will be attending John Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, and will be pursuing a degree in Christian formation. So please give a round of applause for Aaliyah. Jude DeYoung is our next graduate. He is the son of, yeah, you can clap. He is the son of Kevin and Kristen DeYoung, and he will be attending the University of Texas at Tyler in the fall, and he will be studying pre-med. Next, we have Mariah Hart, and she is the daughter of Steve and Andrea Hart, and is currently writing her first novel, which she's aiming to publish in 2025. So please give a hand for Mariah. Next, we have Morgan Lee. You can go upon. And Morgan is the daughter of Gary and Amy Lee, and she is creating her first line of stationery as a graphic designer for Trellis Paper Company, which will be available in January 2025. So please give a round of applause for Morgan. Our next graduate is Jackson McWright. He is the son of Sean and Courtney McWright, and he plans to pursue a career as an industrial electrician. Please give a round of applause for Jackson. Next, we have Gabby Saboya. And she is the daughter of Isaac and Betania Saboya, and she will attend Tyler Junior College to study computer science and will play on the women's soccer team. Please give a hand for Gabby. And our last graduate is Joel Talinga. He is the son of John and Kara Talinga, and he will attend Tyler Junior College to study psychology. All right, students, y'all did it. You have, yeah, you can clap. Y'all now have your diplomas in hand. And the last thing we're gonna do is the turning of the tassel. So I'm gonna have y'all stand. I'm gonna have y'all face all your friends, your loved ones, your family. And what the turning of the tassel is they're turning their tassel from the right to the left to signify they are moving from one stage of life to another. They're leaving being a student to then go on to either higher education or into the workforce. And on this right side, students, you've been very dependent on your parents. And what your parents have wanted to teach you throughout these years is not just to be dependent on yourself when you move over to the left and begin your career, but they want you to transfer dependence to the Lord. And so as you move on from this stage, continue to glorify the Lord. Cling to the cross. Don't leave the things that you learned on the right side behind, but bring those with you onto this new stage of life. We're incredibly proud of you as you see all the phones up taking your pictures. The family and friends here, they love you dearly. Y'all have done a great job. So it's my pleasure and my privilege to say that you can now turn your tassel from the right to the left. And for the first time, I'm going to introduce the graduates of the 2024 Classical Conversations. Congratulations, students.
Can you feel it? Now it's coming back. You can steal it. If you bridge this gap, I can see you through the curtains of the waterfall. When I lost it, yeah, you held my hand, but I tossed it. Didn't understand you were waiting as I dove into the waterfall. So sad.
All right, one last announcement. I tried to keep everything short and sweet for you guys. What we're going to do now is in the Noft across the street, there is a after party where the students have put together just little treats and things from their life. And so all of y'all are invited to go across the street to the Noft to be able to interact with the graduates and tell them congratulations. So you are free to go.